So I'm Ashita, and today we'll see how we can transition from user experience to agentic experience. Yes. So far, whenever we have been designing and building our applications, we've been doing it for a consumer, and that consumer was always a human user. All your API patterns or even your UX design patterns, every interaction model that you thought of was always assuming that there was a human on the other side. And that human would click, they would tap, they would do all these gestures on your applications. And at time they would say even get tired and give up. And all your application would do is respond to those user actions. But something fundamentally has changed over these last couple of months. So, what has happened is now agents and your AI bots now they make up for more than 50% of web traffic. So, all your web requests, more than 50% of those requests are happening to all your AI agents. Now, what does that mean? That means that now we have to start thinking about how to transition for building for human users to building for these agents as well. Now we have to start thinking about these agents as well while we are building our applications. And that is what you call agentic experience. So, where you build for these agents as well as for users, for human users who can delegate their intent. So your agents can now say read even 100 lines very easily. It's very easy for an agent to read 100 lines on your website. Or say it's easy for them to read your API to do actions in milliseconds, right? Which is very difficult for a human user. At the same time, your agents are unpredictable in ways which a human user was never throughout. And your human always stays in the loop, right? They are not the sole operator now, but it's their intent that is driving the entire experience. So now let us see if your React app is built for agents. So how many of you think that your React app is built for agents? A quick show of hands. Well, one of you. That's nice. No worries. We'll look into it. So who can tell which library this is on the screen? No. Any guesses? Quick, you can shout from there. So this is basically the React ARIA library. This lets you add ARIA labels. So if you're building applications for humans with assistive technology, you add ARIA labels. Now what these ARIA labels do is they also help your AI agents understand your application. Because all these modern browser agents, they go through your accessibility tree and they don't solely depend on your DOM or screenshots anymore. So you can see here, ARIA labels, adding them is no more a nice to have. It is your agent contract. If you see, it gives context to your agent, which helps them decide their actions in a much better way. So this is not the only thing, right? Adding ARIA labels is good, but what next? So agentic experience is currently evolving at these three primary fronts that we'll discuss. So first is how can you expose your app capabilities to these browser agents? So WebMCP is one technology, and I'm sure a lot of you might have heard the talk about WebMCP. So WebMCP will let you expose all these capabilities to your agent, which can then talk to your React application. And you can see like you can expose it as a JavaScript function, which the agent can then understand and actually call it as well. The next thing that is happening, especially in the frontier of agentic experience, is where you can render your application directly inside your AI chat client. So what this does is whatever AI chat client or AI application that you are using, like you have Claude Desktop, you have Chat GPT, you have Goose, etc. This your agent is going to understand the user intent and is going to bring the app corresponding to that user intent back to the user. So this is what is MCP apps actually enable. So MCP apps is again an extension of the Model Context Protocol, and it's an open source protocol that lets you send UI over MCP server. And it lets you build and render interactive custom user interfaces directly into your chat client, whichever chat client your user is using. So you can even build multi-step user workflows or even have those interactive real-time dashboards in your chat client itself. So there are these 4 paths to an MCP app. So first is the UI resource. So this is basically your React app, which will be rendered as an HTML. The second is the tool, which is your MCP tool. And your tool is basically linked to the UI resource through the metadata linkage. Then we have our host. Now this host is basically your AI client. And MCP apps are a pretty new thing. They've just been officially released in January itself. And not a lot of the AI clients are supporting MCP apps. So you can see the list that currently support, and you can see the updated list on the link itself. So I'll show you okay, so where does the host as such render this interactive user interface? So that is what we call a view. And that view is basically a sandboxed iframe. So why do we do this sandboxing? This sandboxing basically adds an additional layer of security because you want to prevent your view from accessing unpredictably or trying to manipulate your host. So say you are using a VS Code and it is an important thing. It has your code files and everything. You don't want it to manipulate your host in any way, which is why this sandboxed iframe is where you get your user interface. And this sandbox iframe has restrictive permissions as well as auditable communication. And both your host and client talk using the JSON RPC, and this is a bidirectional communication. So I'll be showing you an example of how MCP apps look in real life using Goose, which is again an open source project under the Agentic AI Foundation. So Goose lets you add your own LLM provider. So you can bring your own LLM provider, and I'll be using Amazon Bedrock here. So Amazon Bedrock gives you a single unified API access to all the leading foundational models out there, be it Anthropic's Claude, be it Meta's Llama, Amazon's Nova, Mistral, etc. So we'll be using that. So you can see the example here. So you can see when I say get sales data, you can see the entire MCP app in the user's chat window itself. So you can see it's interactive. The user is able to select. The user is able to even click the submit button. So the next thing that we are doing is visualizing this data that we wanted. So this is basically a sales analytics example app. So you can see all the charts are there, and chart.js is being used here to display the charts. And you can see it's completely interactive. You can see the data just by hovering through it. And the next thing that we'll do is try to get this in a PDF. So if you say generate report, this is when your agent is going and calling this third MCP app, which is a PDF previewer MCP app. So it gave you all the selection, all the data that you wanted in a PDF format, and even gave you the ability to download that PDF. Okay, so the final frontier where AX is evolving is where you have agents in your application itself. And what these agents will do is they'll try to understand the user intent and get you that outcome driven UI instead of asking the user to navigate your React application. And one protocol that lets us do this is the A2UI protocol. So A2UI is the open source agent to user interface protocol. And again, these lets AI agents render a user interface. And it is a JSON based protocol. So this is how your AI agents describe your user interfaces, and clients then render them natively, be it in web, be it in mobile or desktop. So let us see how this works. So the user is going to send a request, your agent reasons about it and emits a response. Now that response is basically an A2UI JSON, and the renderer then understands the response, picks out the widgets from there and renders it. Now say if a user does an interaction, clicks a button or selects a checkbox. So that is again sent as a signal, as a typed structured event back to the agent, and this is how the loop continues. So you can use the A2UI React library to implement A2UI in your applications. And I'll quickly show you an example. So this is basically the example of the catalog of the React components that you can create. Each catalog, as you can see, has a schema. And this schema is the description of the items and the various inputs that are required by it for rendering. And this is actually the final A2UI JSON that the agent is going to generate. So this is, for example, a complete surface that the agent has generated based on the user intent. So on the left, you see the A2UI JSON, and on the right, you see the generated UI. So let me show you the example. So this is how A2UI example looks like. So it's the similar thing that we saw for MCP apps. So you can see again here, you can select. This is just the console showing you the JSON response that is actually going through A2UI and coming back. So you can see, you can select, and once you click on visualize, the agent is actually now working behind the scenes to create the surface. And all these three components that you see in the surface, in the page that is there, that is basically picked up from the catalog. And these components you can define custom made, as well as you can have them through the library itself. So that's it from my side. And today we saw how ARIA labels help your agent access your website in a better way, as well as we saw 3 areas where the agentic experience is evolving. One of them is WebMCP. The other is how you can add better agentic experience to the places where your users already are, say ChatGPT or a Claude desktop through MCP apps. And the third is when you have an agent, how you can actually bring the outcome-driven UI based on user intent to them in your own applications through protocols like A2UI. So this, you can scan this article. This is like a 3-series article that I've written on MCP apps. It has the real-time dashboard and all the examples that we discussed today in much detail in these articles. And I would love for your feedback. So the first 3 feedback submissions will get a goodie from me. So once you submit this feedback, you will get a first, second, or third response. So please find me after the event. I'll be here itself in the backstage. So feel free to find me and collect your goodie. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.